right? They can't study that.
We appreciate that. But if you don't mind us asking, just before we start, what made you choose Trifactor though? If anything fast.
I don't know. I just get kind of vibes the time the message come, you know. Yeah, it's just I just with that vibe, you know.
A man told me the other day, he said Trinidadians is the most vibe conscious people have.
Yes,
vibes was really influence a lot of what we do. He say you will be going to a party, something happens, but my vibe is just feeling off, boy. I going again. Yo, mom man, yeah, no nothing about the man. But my blood I take it. Because real move on vibes. You understand? So that's our good vibes. I really like that vibe. I really like that. I know it's 10 o'clock by you. What time you planning to look for? You the man who governing that, eh?
Oh well really and truly I waited to take in the Ascension League, so
Alright, yo, nice.
Yeah, I'm at the off tomorrow school.
Beautiful. Well, all that, I have some questions with that too. So, there you go. Let me intro you.
Welcome to another episode of the Trifactor podcast.
This podcast is for Trini football piongs and international ones, where we get to discuss all matters of football, both Trini and internationally.
If you are a football fanatic,
this is for you.
If you just stumble upon here by mistake,
don't worry, God doesn't make mistakes. This is for you.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Most importantly, give us your feedback for future content that you might be interested in. On this week's episode, we'll be discussing,
and today we have a special guest, Mr. Sheldon Bateau. How are you doing, sir? Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you. We definitely try to get as many senior internationals on. To me, you're one of the stalwarts in the team right now. Really enjoy seeing you play. But we just want to go back to where you started. The first question I like to ask is, what's your first memory of football? When did the bug bite you? And we say, I like this game, boy.
I mean, for me, football was always in my family, in my blood. Because, I mean, a lot of people don't know, but I was born and raised in Port of Spain, Trafford Courts. But most of my family, not all, from my father's side, from St. Anne's. Okay. You know, and that is Superstar Rangers. I mean, back then, it was a family team, you know, so all of we playing football from 3, 4, 5, going in the madhouse, because it's just a wall separating me from the madhouse.
Okay.
You know, so that is basically where we learn football. Yeah, so all of us are around the same age, just 2, 3 years older, younger. You know, so that is where it mainly came from, you know.
Right. So you had an introduction to the game pretty young. What age would you say that was?
Well, I mean, when I really thought about football, I would say I was, let me say, about 5, 6.
5, 6.
From 5, 6, yeah. That is when I really decided everybody doing it. And then I have an older brother also, 4.5 years older. He was already playing football, you know. So my father was physical trainer, referee.
Okay.
Everything involved in football, you know. So yeah, that is basically where it came from.
So you never had a chance to get sidetracked by any other game. Football was it?
Football wasn't. Even today when people ask me what sports I just play, I don't like basketball.
Yeah.
I don't like tennis. I used to run in school.
Okay.
But I don't like anything else. I people
when
I travel, they say, you're black, you're supposed to be good at basketball. No, I don't like it, you know. I don't like it at all.
You don't believe in that. I understand. Yeah.
I was just focused, and not really to say where, you know, you can focus on other things, because part of recovering from a season, they said to play our next sport. They say don't play football, play tennis or something else, you know. So it was, I think, maybe 4 years ago was the first time that I actually played tennis. You know, when I came, sometime we have. I mean, it was awkward at first, but you know, we naturally it, so he's getting hanged.
You talk about court tennis or well, I know what about table tennis because I know real football. Just play that.
Table tennis now, first it awkward for me. I used to left hand right hand.
Yeah, you're left-handed.
I left-handed.
Yeah, that is the problem I also have too. And you
But
just
only a right-handed paddle.
So you kind of
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
sometimes the ball I think and I switch on this one, I hit them at here. So,
Yeah, you doing that? Yeah.
you know, but it's just natural.
Yeah,
But even table tennis, I go like,
yeah.
you know.
Okay.
So yeah, that is me. It's just football. Even on PlayStation is FIFA most times, you know.
Yeah.
No the Fortnite and the Call of Duty come around, but it was FIFA my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah, boy. FIFA was it for sure. Just to go back a little, you say you grew up in Shafford Court, that's pronounced it right?
Yeah.
So we had Jesse Williams on. I think he's from there.
Yeah.
And he say one of his inspirations. I think the Jones brothers from there as well. If I'm not mistaken. What do you think it is about that area that produced so many internationals for Trinidad and Tobago? Some in the water, some in the food.
I mean, it's at the basketball court, it close to the Savannah as well.
Yeah.
And it was, no, I don't know if it's a little better because my family and I we still have our place there, but we cannot move away, you know.
Right.
But that time when I was growing up, that is when G-Unit was in full swing.
Right.
So for me, it's like people didn't even know I used to live there. I would sleep there, but when I wake up, I go to school, I go St. Anne's, I come home, I inside, I don't be outside.
Right. Okay.
You know, but Trinidad full of talent.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, Shafford connected to Belmont. Belmont have produced a lot of stars over the years as well. You know, but I think it's the fact that it close to the Savannah. So it don't really have anywhere to play around that basketball court. But that is not the most ideal place to play football. You know, so we would go in Savannah, and I think that is where a lot of the players develop their skills.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's apart from trying to escape the area. You know,
Yeah.
but that area was
Real hot.
because you know the area right
Yeah.
down there is the tongue is yeah. So it was
It
really
is hot.
it was a bad.
Yeah. So let me ask this question. Given that you grew up in football, walk us through your progression in it now, because you say Superstar Rangers, you mentioned school and thing. Most times it does never really be. It was mostly it should be really. It does end up being like one was a major influence as compared to the other. What do you think was your real part in football? Describe your part to us. How it happened for you?
Well, I always wanted to be a professional.
Okay.
I told my father that. Well, I told my parents that from a
What
young
age? What age?
I would say from the time I entered secondary school, so that was what 13, 14.
What school was that? Was it secondary school?
Well, first I went to Rosary Boys,
Okay.
and then I passed to Belmont Secondary. Stayed Belmont Secondary for 1 year. That was in Form 1. Then I went to Fatima College in Form 2.
Okay.
You know, so at that time also Fatima was kind of drafting a lot of Rangers players.
Yeah.
McFarlane was the coach. So
Coach, yeah. He was the coach, so he had the inside track.
You see, so are these a St. Mary's boy, so you probably coasting on.
No, listen. It had certain schools that used to do that. The Catholic schools were not as heavy in it as some other schools, aside from like St. Anthony's. St. Anthony's are normally in that respect, right? But when St. Anthony's winning right through, everybody say, nah, boy, them doing something, we had to try something. So it happened. Belmont is one of the junior Catholic schools, but it's a boys' school, but it's not like people who recognize it as actually one of them is one of you Holy Ghost Father schools now, you know. So it had that kind of feeder system that used to kind of flow in and things. So real plenty people take that part. So I know vex.
And that was the only way to kind of compete as well, you know, because all these other teams compete.
Yeah. My problem is to start when you man, I'm making these subjects and thing, and you sending them to go and learn to fix air conditioner, and then you're telling them, and they still identify them as a student. That is my problem. That is my problem there. But other than that, I understand. Let me
And that's the thing about Fatima as well. Fatima, when they brought a player, they always wanted them to be at a certain level.
Yeah.
You know, the education was not just football.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, it from a young age, I know I wanted to be a professional footballer, and then at that time, it had I think it was Dixie. Dixie had like this thing in the schools where they would carry youths to the Woodbrook Youth Facility.
Okay.
And then they would have Jabloteh, train the youths and these things. You know, so you see the professionals, they in camp, you see the way they live in, and you know, you look up to them.
Yeah.
You know, and even in football.
No, continue your point there, because that's something I'll ask after. But continue.
And even in form, when I was a ball boy. So when I was a ball boy, Julius James and them fellas, and you see in Ducker, you see the vibe, stadium full. You know, so you want that part of that. So, I mean, yeah, like I say, from a young age, I already know what direction I wanted to head in, you know. So I'm in national team as well from a young age. I think 13, because our under 17 was together for 3 years.
Okay.
You know, like for the World Cup. So we used to be in camp. They had the zonal teams as well, no zone south, north play south, and that is where they would pick the national team from.
Just know, but
wanted to be a professional was one thing, but it had a lot of avenues and a lot of possibilities.
Right. Because last time I asked, you mentioned that your father was heavily involved in the trainer, referee, and them kind of thing. But I mean, I wonder, like, how well your parents took. Hey, I want to be a professional from early, because I mean, the senior Fatima, you know, your mother never say, boy, your career, try to get. They never do that. There was the whole lot. We supported you.
But that was the problem, right? So my father, being a footballer before, being in sports and these things, he supported me 100. He didn't. I mean, he cared about the school, but for him, football came before school. So if you had to go and train, you go and run Savannah after you do your school.
Yeah.
Understand? My mother was the opposite.
Right.
For sure.
I want to stay off. Yeah.
You know,
I know that would happen. Yeah, like mother.
Yeah, so when I tell her, even before CXC, I tell my mother, I say, I want to be a professional footballer. She said, that is not a job.
Yeah.
She called my grandmother. They oppose it, they really don't like it.
Yes, so
you know?
when you say grandmother, she called your grandmother, meaning your father, mother.
She called her mother.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she called her mother.
If she go to your father, mother, it would be Bacchanal Day, because
she called her mother.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, it was like, because I mean, I was in school, but I never really liked the school system. You know, because they don't teach you to think outside the box, right? And I realized that from a young age, you know. But still, I don't have a choice. I had to go through it. I had to go through the process, you know, because I'm not like I had a rich family. You could have taken me out of school.
Yeah.
We you know, we not a we not that. So, like I said, my father was always football first. My mother was schoolwork first, and for me, it was like trying to find a balance, you know, and it had points in time where the school was struggling, and my mother was like, okay, you know, you can't go to the tournament this weekend, you know. So my father was like, woman, you can't do that, you know. So it always had that tension. Yeah, and for me, the best way to solve it was, do what I had to do in school. So
you could do what you want to do.
Right, so for me, CXC, I had I think 7 passes in the end. And when I get the 7 passes, I give my mother, I say, look, you get your passes, now I'm playing for me. So that is, you know, dude, I had a full scholarship from UCONN.
Okay.
Right? Nice. Full scholarship. Tell you full, UCONN travel on me, Molino, Michael Lewis as well. But Molino and these guys wasn't really they're really not on school.
Yeah.
like I still had the choice. I think I tried the SAT. Yeah, I tried SAT. I failed by 10 marks.
Oh.
Yeah. But I just do the SAT to give myself that option.
Mm-hmm.
No? And that school wanted me so bad. They fly in Trinidad. Had a meeting in Hyatt with Terry Frenny because that time I was already in Jabloteh.
Right.
And they brought Julius James as as you know, as
Ambassador.
Yeah. So we sit down by the table discussing, and Terry Frenny was like, no way I can ever take this player to go to school. You know, because after the school system, where he going and go?
Yeah.
You know how much of our players just go from American school to Europe? That's hardly happen. It's hardly begin MLS. You know? So, I mean, Terry Frennick was just, I allowed him to talk because for me it was like, I'm really not interested in going to school because...
Yeah, you know you want this set.
Yeah, I don't like the school system. You know, so...
You wanted somebody else to take the blame though, to think it. You don't know go for that.
Well, I mean, at that time, Terry Frennick thought that, you know, he had a player that he could have get into England and Europe easy. No? Because I think that time Hayden already left for Belgium and everything. So he was seeing a next opportunity. So of course he wanted to guard his investment, you know? Yeah. So I mean that is so it was. And the school even said, look, okay, if you don't want to come to school, sign this document. Where if you're coming to school, you can't go to no other school. Huh? That is how bad they wanted me to come to school.
Wow.
You signed it? Because I mean I wasn't going to school anyhow.
Well, I signed it, I wasn't going to school anyway. So
them just had that paper that they gave autograph, right?
They were even willing to go as far as to try and get my results to see where I went wrong, to help me improve, to get the marks. You know? So and I mean that is how it went. But yeah, I mean for me school was never really something I was interested in.
Alright, but in terms of, I mean, the academics, aside from the academics part of your school, give me some memories of your secondary school football career. I asked about your academics though. Let's hear about your footballing career.
I would say it's a bright one because from Form 1, I was already one of the biggest players biggest in size.
Okay.
So we had a striker, he was very fast, Grappy, Tech than Grappy or something. And I kick in goal kick, the goal kick reaching the next goal. You know? he taken 1 or 2 touches on his goal one time.
Yeah.
So and the only team that can give you trouble was Mokurapo with Jovin Jones and Ross Russell and you know? Apart from that. I mean the potential was it had parents watching like who is this big man?
Check your paper.
This on that 14, you think you're on the crossbar. What's this?
I scored corner, I scored from half line. And sometimes for me when I see videos of Messi and Cristiano on them at that age, if I really had, because it's the kind of goals I score, if I tell people that, they're going to say, you talking shit with us. You know, but I have no record of that, so I can't really talk about that. You know, corners is free kick. When I go behind a ball, nobody want to stand up in a wall. You know?
Only pipe.
Noise a bullet coming. The noise a bullet coming. You know, so I mean, from that, I mean, even go back to primary school. You know, because I mean, in primary school, me and UCONN, we played together. He tried the football thing.
Okay.
He was alright.
So you're from Central? No, you're not from Central.
From Central, he's from North.
From Central.
Yeah, I know Ken will say he grew up with UCONN.
Oh yeah, Ken will say I should.
Yeah. Okay, so he came up just you went to school in Central or you went to school in North?
Yeah.
You went to school in North. I mean, everybody just be looking to come North and thing now.
Yeah,
I know they're trying to claim them and thing, but this are North, man.
You know roots in South, boy. You know people from Point.
This are North, man. Right? This are North, man. We settle that we but then to argue that, right? You understand? This are North, man. Right? Forgive him now. Forgive him.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, even from primary school, you know, football was the way, and even when it comes to religion and church and thing.
Yeah.
When people have time to go to church on Saturday and Sunday, I in Savannah, I had games. You know, so I didn't really have an opportunity to get so heavily involved in the church then.
Yeah.
You know? So I really have my own way of thinking when it comes to that.
Yeah.
You know, so progressing from primary school, going to Belmont, and mind you, in Belmont, I mean, I glad I didn't have girls in Belmont because the kind of football I used to play, but I would have been the shot for sure.
Yeah.
I really went to schools. Only
Yeah.
boys' schools I went to know.
Yeah.
No, so that kind of helped me to stay
To
focused, you know.
To focus. Yeah, like it.
For sure.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
so from that now, went to Fatima that was Form 2. And from Form 2 I was already playing intercol.
Yeah.
Serious.
That
Yeah,
I was playing,
started?
I was playing, starting right
Yeah. You was big.
Wow.
Started playing against Tulager and was the next striker. Oh God, he was a soldier. Richard Roy. Then that time was Hayden
For Malik.
Yeah. The football was different.
It was different. Yeah, that real competitive man in that note.
How was that trial by fire? Were you phased or were you just normal?
Nah, it was normal because growing up in Rangers, it was like I said, it was a family team. So, I mean, my brother 4.5 years older than me. You had that time Joshie McBellgrave and a lot of big players at that time. And I used to play on a 14, 16, 18. So I played in everything.
Wow.
You know, so I played big man football and apart from that, in the Mad House, we used to have beer back and jersey every day.
Yeah.
You understand? And beer back and jersey is men from my age, the big men who's 30.
Yeah, the 15, 16.
And they tell them nothing like, hey, don't tackle your small man, boy.
Nah,
the men
you
licking
get
it
hard
down.
to jump.
Yeah, the men licking it down.
Yeah.
You know? So, and that beer back and jersey lasts for about, let me see, about 9 years consistently.
That's right.
Every day, from 365 days, we must be sweating. 360 days.
Right. So you play a lot of football.
Fit because when I finished training in Fatima or national team, I go in, I run up there, training finish.
You serious?
Past 4. Yeah, training finish 5. You go there, sweat started 5 till 7. Street light. You can't see nothing on your feet.
Right.
You understand? Every day we do that. Every day.
Is that any time you try to escape the back line and play striker or midfield or anything?
No, well, when you sweat?
No, not anytime.
In the sweat
Any age group.
No, well, I was a striker. I was a striker at first.
Okay.
I was a striker in Rangers, you know, but like I said, I would say it had a game, I would say about, what do we say, 15? 14, 15, but how we grew up, we played every position. Yeah, so if our game going good and we on top 5-0, I go on in front.
Striker hold our back. Yeah.
You know, that's how we go. Yeah. Or even Fonset. Fonset was our winger.
Yeah.
You know? And even transition.
Keeper,
was our winger.
Yeah.
That game the might have be five. He came around on the field. Shortness of breath or kind of thing. You know, so Fonset from Cascade. So again, all we grew up.
Grew up together, yeah. Now
we grew up together. So it had a game where we needed a right back and I started playing right back, and after that I stayed there.
Okay.
You know? So from right back, transition to centre back, and like I say, even now I can play almost any position.
Yeah, for sure.
So
one of the more composed defenders.
Yeah, that you think too. Composure is like something we don't really have. Much
do you think being able to play multiple positions help with your composure at the back?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And because sometimes you just get in some situations where you need that composure, you know. And I always used to look at Dennis Lawrence, Marvin Andrews, and for me, Dennis was a bit better on the ball. And you know, I wanted to be better than that. You know, I wanted to be better than all the greats: Dennis, Sancho, Marvin Andrews, I wanted to be
defender.
complete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to be complete because for me, none of them was really complete.
Yeah.
You know, so I wanted to be better than that. No disrespect to them, but
Nah,
because of them,
You're
I
somebody else
was,
pushing yourself to be. Yeah.
of course, yeah, of course.
right.
So
I just say that it comes to mind. We always have a pair in our defenders. Maybe a more aggressive tackler and a more
Mm-hmm.
composed one.
You need
Or
that. First
yeah.
defender, second defender.
yeah, sure.
Most good defensive partnerships always have that, you know. A destroyer and a distributor, you know.
Uh,
Watch it. Vidic and Rio, right?
yeah,
You always have that. You always must have somebody who taking control, right? Pass off and all them kind of thing. Because one had to be the first defender, one had to be the second.
and that is the partnership I had with Primus. You know, at Jabloteh, he was 16, I was 15, and we was leading the Jabloteh back line. You know, and he more aggressive than me. You know, he could still play with the ball, but he more aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean both of you used to play tackles, but as I get older and get experience, started to read the game better. I didn't really have to tackle that much.
All right.
You know, most time I'll pick up a ball free. I mean, but if I see a striker who running too much or feel I will hit him something in my jam, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. You know, say how to mix it, how to, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my game.
Point. Yeah.
And that came. Yeah, and then that came from all the football I was playing. So it was Savannah League, Intercol from Form 2 until I play lower 6. You know, so national team on a 17, on a 20, on a 23, now senior team. So there's a lot of football over the years.
Nice. What would you say was your high point in secondary school football?
It had a year those called me the Beckham I Intercol. I score
You're
free kicks.
Yeah.
Boy, free kicks from anyway. In the
Alright.
stadium, I bet SSFL had a website with all the clips and things, but they deleted now.
Yeah. I remember that site in truth.
Yeah, I scored a lot of free kicks, you know.
Right.
But I think the best time I had was when we won the national intercol. I think we lose the league by 1 point or 1 goal. I think goal difference.
Just goal difference.
We lose the league that year, and well, we didn't win an intercol in what I think 25 years or something like that. Also, yeah, for me that was the best feeling, and that time I was the man. I making all the chant before the game.
Vibes.
And you know, I making up I slap and I check and I adding something. You know, because all that would, you know, and like I said, my father was, you know, so almost any team I went to, my father was there.
Right.
Yeah.
If not all teams I went to, my father was there.
Nice. It's always good to have that support.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it support because even on the national team, wherever, when we home, that is daddy, but when we on the field, like trainer.
No, but it's still support. It's still support.
I mean, he never give me no. You know, there's some parents who would try to put in a word for the kid.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, do that.
He was never like that. He ain't no pointers. Even when he was refereeing, he make a call. I said, Daddy, what kind of call is that? Boom, yellow card. Yeah. Yellow card. Say, Father, nothing. So that is how we grew up, you know, because I mean, he was a fire officer as well.
Yeah.
So that level of professionalism, he was.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Hey, all right. Before you leave secondary school, we hear mention a few players, Julius James, Sancho, Marvin. Who do you think was your biggest inspiration? Like who did you try to model your game after at that young age?
I was more focused on the defenders at Jabloteh at that time.
Okay.
Because I mean, okay, we watched Trinidad play. He had Intercol, but you know, I would mainly look at in Jabloteh that time. He had Silk Grey, he had Ian Grey, he had the bigger Primus. Kino Thomas was also there.
Yeah, he was good, you know.
Gonzal, man. That is our South, man.
So you had some real monsters.
Yeah, for sure.
A defense, you know. So coming up under these fellas and I'm watching their game and that kind of thing. You know, that is where my focus was. And I as somebody that does really watch football. I don't like to watch football. You know,
Okay.
I might watch a Man U game. If it's not a big game, I cannot sit down and watch football. It's hard to do. You know, you would pick up your phone, you lose. I mean, if I play, there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But to sit down and watch a game, unless it's live, is like, you know, it's tiring because you're doing it every day.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking about football so much that you just need a little break from it. You know, and maybe good, maybe bad, but I mean, when I talk to a lot of footballers, it's the same. You know, sometimes you just want a break from you know? So I
this
mean,
is good.
That, I mean, because you mentioned Vidic and Ferdinand, and for me that was the best partnership because Man U was my team, but Dwight Yorke was there at that time. So you know, that is kind of players that I would look at, but I never look at no other team or no other defenders to say, yeah, well, I want to be like these guys. You know?
Okay.
All right. So, all right, we walking away from secondary school, you know. Talk us through your professional career because you have a very well. You would mention all that because you have a very diverse passport, you know. No, see it. You cannot stamps. You want to stamp, I see you get it. Talk to me about that.
I mean, I had to get how much passports I have. I think maybe 3 because I had to ask for a diplomatic passport because I had so much stamps.
You had to get the 50-page one.
Yeah, it was falling up too fast because I have the national team and everything too. You know, so every country I go, people be like, when they're flipping them security and I'm
looking for page.
You know? Yeah. So I mean, from leaving Jabloteh, I went to Holland, but it was through Sosa, Leon Sosa.
Yeah, he was agent. Yeah,
right. He was his scout. I don't know why he's not an agent. I don't know why he say he's an agent. He's not an agent.
But he linked it.
He's linked with the agent.
Yeah, right? He linked it.
So I gave props for that.
Yeah, he linked it.
At that time, they had a deal where locally, Sosa would take care of certain expenses, visa and whatever. At the time, he needed visa to go Holland and Belgium. And once you leave Trinidad, the agent would deal with the rest. You know, so whether you need money to spend on a daily and whatever, hotel while you're on trial, the ticket money, to go Holland, they would split it half or whatever. And that was the case. So I went to Holland, had no teams really, and I was basically training with a personal trainer at Ajax. Outside Ajax Stadium had like a synthetic pitch, and it would be with other players who didn't have teams, and it would be with an old guy who, you know, he has some experience in coaching. And that is basically how it started. So I would go there, and it was after a few weeks, I think after 2 weeks, I went to train with a 4th division team, I think. And then as at that game, we play a friendly game, I think. And some guys came to the game, the agent brought some guys to the game. And there a guy who said, okay, you know, you can speak to people at FC Twente. You know? So it was, sounds interesting because I mean, you know, Ajax, FC Twente, as big clubs. Big clubs, yeah. So went to FC Twente. I was there for a month. And that time, Twente had Chadley, Tadic. They had a big defender, Douglas. Leroy Fu was there as well. Yeah. They had a Promise was there. They had a real good team.
Okay.
You know, so I was kind of up and down between the second team and the first team because they were playing Europa League or Champions League at that time. So they didn't really train much. They were just tactical work and that kind of thing.
Yeah, preparing for games.
And Clive was the coach of the second team.
Wow.
Yeah, so for me it was like actually seeing Clive in person, like, oh boy, you know, it was like a real privilege. The man was to keep a composure and gamble,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a custom.
yeah. You know, I mean, no, I wish I didn't take a picture with him.
Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure.
Yeah, but you know, Clive wouldn't really like me because you see, as a defender, good on the ball, powerful, not slow, you know, good in the air as well. You know, so for them was like a complete defender they have. You know, but at that time I was already 21. And in Holland, normally, if you're non-European, they need to pay a certain amount.
Oh.
So when it came to the decision of staying or leaving, it was kind of difficult for them to pay a youth that kind of money, not knowing if he would
You
perform.
develop, how far you could go.
Yeah, so that was the case, and actually that is where I got the dynamite name from, because we're doing like a shooting drill.
Yeah.
And it was like shooting to reconversion into defensive wood. So when them see the tackles and the power in the shot and these things, and say, wait, boy, it's more like dynamite. Tiki Dynamite. I said, well, I will keep the name because I mean,
Yeah.
So that's how long I had it, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times as a defender, you know, sometimes you had to do things for yourself. You had to put yourself out there. Sometimes you had to make videos for yourself because nobody really watching defenders really. They're doing. No, if you check who would watch my game over MLS game, they'll watch the MLS game with Malik and Joven and them. You know, it's just the reality.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, I ain't waiting for nobody. I doing what I had to do for myself. You know, so that is basically how it started. And then even after that time, I remember the day the agent called and say, you know, they're like here, but some of the key members on vacation and they can't really make that decision right now. So they brought Buyout on loan. At that time, Buyout was, and I mean, the level similar. You know, it's no big difference between me and him. The difference is
he plays from Europe. You get up play.
Yeah, of course. You know, so from that age, I don't really realize it. This thing is not really our talent.
Yeah,
it's really you know.
Yeah, colonialism.
Yeah, so I realized that early. So even after that now, I actually wanted me to come for 2 weeks. You know, but when I reached back to the hotel, I cried. I said, oh God, I really going back home, boy. You know? And even at that time, Angus was the coach at Notice. And I was in Notice for a month. Because Jabloteh went bankrupt. So I went over to Notice. No, I was at Notice for a month. Notice paid me one salary. Right? And when I leave, I think they was asking for like 50,000 TT or something else.
So buy it out, yeah.
Yeah. And even when I was in Holland, they told that I already had a team.
Right.
You know? And the only way I could assign was to break the contract before the window closed.
Oh.
You know? So they thought I wanted to break the contract and sign with that team and they wouldn't get any money. You know, so I had to call Angus for myself to say, hey, you don't trust me. I have no team. I need to cut this contract so that I have the chance to make a team. You know, and me and Angus always had a good relationship from the under 23. I was the captain of the under 23, and he was the coach. You know, so we always had a good relationship.
Yeah, right.
So I ended up breaking the contract with Notice, and then I also had the option from Mechelen. So it was between Mechelen and Ajax. So I mean, after a month in Twente, I don't want to go Ajax and hear the same thing, but you know your age. And I said, nah, I said I will go Belgium because Highland was already in Belgium and me and Highland grew up playing together as well.
Right.
So me Belgium was the better option because they don't have any limit on foreigners and these things.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That is how I ended up at Mechelen, and being at Mechelen, I was there for like I think 3 days before I signed. And I signed fast, you know. After 2 sessions, they ready to sign me. You know, and that is basically where it started.
All right. So this, tell us about your experiences there, because what I'm trying to establish here is at what point in your career you think was the steepest learning curve, the transition from which league to which league. I wanna hear how you deal with that, because coming from Pro League, jumping straight into, I mean, no go. Them have football culture, a serious culture.
Yeah,
So I want to know at what point did you learn, was the steepest learning curve for you with this?
Well, I mean, going to Belgium, I was there in, I think it was September. So the weather was already changing. That is one. They were already into season, so it's not like it was pre-season when I had time to, so it was like into it one time. At that time, I was on the bench, coming in sometimes left back, right back, left back, right back at first. Eventually progressed to midfield when necessary. But the sessions was high, the tempo was high. Tempo, the passes, some strong passes, man, hitting here, and you had to be able to adapt to that. But what helped me is the fact that because I played for the national team for so long, with all the age groups, I was kind of accustomed to it. So I mean, it didn't have any pressure to really improve quickly, because it's not like a club, to say Club Brugge or Anderlecht or something like that, where the pressure different, so the players and the coach kind of helped me along, and eventually, and I say to younger players now, when they go on trial or something, give yourself a week, you would realize that the speed of the game, you could handle it, but it's just changing, like I say, even from Pro League to make that change. It seemed fast, but when they do it every day, you realize, oh, wait, man.
You could adapt to this,
Yeah, you could adapt, you could handle it. So, I mean, that is how it went, and basically it was like, it was a different ball game because you realize every game is like 14,000 fans. You make one mistake, you do something with the clap as well. So you had to know how to find that balance, because sometimes you start a game, you make a mistake, and you feel like the fans are against you, but you had to do something to bounce back more or less. So it really wasn't easy in the beginning. Even like handling the fans after the game, because where we had to exit, all the fans would be just
right around you.
Yeah, they're drinking, who want a picture, who want autograph and whatever. And I was shy. So I walking through there, I smiling and thing, but when I reach out that gate, I in a corner. I don't want nobody pass and see me, I don't want nobody pass and ask a picture and these things. But you just get used to it after a while. Right. So that is kind of how it went. And for me, I just eased into it because it would have games where players injured, I had to step in and I would do a pretty good job. And the turning point at that time, we played a game away to Cercle Bruges. And last minute, I think it was, we was leading 2-1 or something like that. Last second of the game, somebody shoot. And the keeper dive and miss the ball. The ball loving. And I end up stretching and playing it off the line. And when I look today and I see what Thiago Silva and I say, what different? The kind of attention that I'm getting. Mine was the same thing, but it didn't get that kind of attention.
That kind of exposure, yeah.
So I just watch it like, it is what it is, yes.
Social media.
For me, that was the turning point. After that, I started playing every game. And my market value at that time was 50,000, and it went to 1.5 million.
Just off that.
Well, after that, I started to play consistently.
Okay.
And men start you will know now. So men seeing what you have and everything now. So everybody seeing it now. This man.
Yeah. So that is what went on. And at that time, the agent Humphrey was applying a lot of pressure because he wanted me to play like the dot style and pick up the ball, run out the back. Them I think I said, but if the coach are asking for that, and if the league not like that, I can't do that.
You can't want to do that.
So he was demanding that because he said that's what clubs want to see, and then they go and judge them where you do good, they go and judge them where you do bad, and was I kind of
but I
didn't want to think I had to say.
Yeah, that making sense because if you're going and you're doing something that totally against instructions now, you're more likely to do something bad.
You're on the bench again.
That making sense.
Exactly. But he didn't understand that. So for he it was like, why you listen to what I'm telling you? And I don't want to hear nothing else.
Oh my.
He talk about scoring goals as well. And last season I think I scored four, maybe 4 or 5 goals probably. And at the end of the season, he had no options. So it means like you're telling me to do these things.
Yeah.
I'm doing the best I can, and in the end you still can't nothing for me. So and that is when I realized like he could give you a start, but he can't take it to the next one.
Right.
Because he's the agent of Wijnaldum. Right?
Okay.
So he's always talk about Wijnaldum. Now players like Wijnaldum could sell themselves.
Yeah.
But he really know how good an agent is when you have basically average players in given the market, and you could find something good for them because they had the potential.
Yeah.
So when I realized, like, apart from, for me, it's more like you say, it's about vibes. And if my vibes not good, every time he call me, I don't want to answer the phone.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah, heavy spirit.
Yeah, so I said, boy, you see that vibes? But I can't take it no more. And I address certain issues. I say, look, we need to speak. I address certain issues with him, even concerning Sosa. And until today, Sosa never even reached out to me to find out what was discussed in that meeting. What is the reason for things falling apart? And he just run on social media, run on TV, and he never spoke to me about the situation.
That's it kind of in keeping.
Yeah, and part of the argument was me fighting for respect for Sosa.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Because I tell the agent, I said, it's because of Sosa that I meet you. And before me was Robert Primus, Jamal Juma Clarence, Mel.
Hey, what you doing, boy? You don't want me to hear that name, boy?
I don't know. But even and this basic problem I have with some of these fellas, right? I really don't know what he's doing now, but he's signing Turkey, I think. He get his signing bonus, went Trinidad and never went back to the team.
Way, boy.
Right? So that is what it went on with his situation. At least that is why I hear from the agent and whatever. So you get it, I think, what, 30,000 US or some kind of thing, so you get, and he never went back to the club, but the club had the ITC. So after a while, when you want to play somewhere else,
you get blacklist. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
So I think that is what went on with him. Primus as well did sign in Kazakhstan, and he also had problems with the agent. But he tell me, look, there's my issue. I mean, you don't have to take it up as well. Go with them, see how things go, and give them a chance. And that is why until I realized like this can't work out. I always Levi Garcia agent. And I see the same to Levi. There's some of the problems I have. I switch in. It's up to you to stay. I mean, I'm not forcing you. You can make
your decision. Your own man. Yeah, you got to make your own decision for you.
Because before Levi parents called me to ask about the agent. No, I could have said, boy, he's a clown, don't go with he. And I didn't do that. I said, no, everything good, is a good agent and could help Levi, and and I still his agent today, but I switched a Belgian agent, and we working together now for the last 5-6 years.
Okay.
And we have similar personalities, so it's always a cool vibe. It's like a friendship. Also, I mean, and when I switched to them, I was making a move to Russia because what happened in Belgium, I was kind of struggling because I was having some bad performances, and apart from that, I had no family around.
Yeah.
So it was like, who I can really turn to. So
True.
It was like, I just digging a hole deeper and deeper and deeper, and out here, when they make certain mistakes, the media does
stigmatize.
Slaughter.
Yeah, it's really not nice. Really, really not nice. It's difficult. Yeah. Even on social media, they will come and comment. I mean, in Belgium, they will comment on their picture or send you a direct message or some kind of thing, So, I mean, being young, 22, 23, to deal with that kind of stuff, it was difficult. And I even opened up to the coach about, the problems I was having on the field. And I felt like he saw that as weakness, because after that, sometime after, he ended up bringing his defender.
Wow.
So he was Serbian and he brought his defender. But at that time, and it came out in the newspapers now, that it had an agent working behind the scenes, bringing players. A lot of corruption was going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that time, I felt like that was happening, because my contract was finishing at Mechelen. I had 1 year more, and I see other players getting renewal, but the players that getting the renewal were the players that switching to certain agents.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just observing what going on, and at that time when I telling players, I think I go in with this agent who I have now. Men was like, boy, he young in the game. Don't go with he. But they sending me to big companies now. I from Trinidad. These big companies in Europe, what they really want to do for me? I don't think they would give me the attention that I'm looking for.
Yeah,
exactly. I'll seek your interest.
So I said, I will go with this small man and we'll build something.
Build something, yeah.
Exactly. And some of these players from them, they call him by the same agent now.
Wow.
You see? So again, it's just our vibes.
Vibes.
Yeah. And that is why I went on, and even at that time too, it had a situation where I left to come with the national team, but my visa did expire. Right? And I was thinking, because the security say if you leave, you will be in problems to come back. No. I thinking, as a national player, a small thing I will get help. Trinidad I played for, them go sort out that, don't worry, them go call whoever and give me a visa fast.